Hello and welcome to Chart of the Day Cafe for Tuesday, April 10th, 2018. Just want to read our disclaimer quickly. Trading stocks is a high level of risk and viewers should complete their own due diligence on any stock or underlying that they intend to own. 100% of the content of this video and communique is intended for journalistic and educational purposes only. This video and all indicators, strategies, and articles herein should not be construed as investment advice. Not making any recommendations, always for your further homework. Good morning, Sue here on this busy Tuesday morning where it looks as though the futures are going to start us off well in the green. They seem to be reacting to China's announcement this morning that they plan to open their country up and perhaps loosen tariffs. So that trade war rhetoric seems to be kind of dying down a little bit. So we'll see if that can help the markets regain our trend line and that upward momentum. Time will tell. So with that, let's take a look at where we are. I always start my videos off with a look at the Russell Index, and for that I use the IWM, which is the ETF that represents the Russell 2000, and I like to step back and take a look at it on a 5-year monthly time frame. So why do I always start with a look at the Russell Index? Because I want to make sure that before I put any new names on my watch list and create my trading plan, that I'm going with the market. If the market is going higher, I want to be adding names to my watch list in a rising market environment. So I've taken all my drawings away. I like to look at clean charts as opposed to cluttered charts. And as you can see, the candle for the month of April so far is a little bit undecided, a little bit of a doji, but we're very early in the month. Here's March, which was somewhat wonky. We went all the way up to our January highs and then sold off. Same with February, a bit of a wonky month with this wide range. And January created that top that we are keeping an eye on. Can we regain these levels? We will see. So that's the sequence of candles. Now I'll put my drawings back in. And it gets a little cluttery, but we're sort of ignoring this area down here for now. This is long-term support resistance, kind of medium-term. And I'm really focusing on this area here. So this line right here, this diagonal line, is my most important area of support and resistance, and we drew this blue line in several weeks ago saying, look, if the uptrend on the Russell is going to continue, it's going to have to get through this blue line and regain the black. And then the pink is short-term support resistance down here at the bottom. So this is how it looks on the monthly. So you can see that this black diagonal line is important, at least to me, because it held price in through all of 2017. Then we had this move up and over that line, and it stayed that way until February, where it sank below, and to regain the uptrend it's going to have to regain this line and move out of the blue area. So that's how it looks on the monthly. Let's take a look at it on a 2-year weekly. So we're dancing around that black diagonal line quite a bit. These are the weekly candles. You can see the black diagonal line here and the way price meandered around in a tight range in this area and then loosened up a little, finally moved up and over, and here's where we are right here, right now. So last week's candle, although red, was somewhat encouraging because it had the long wick kind of defending, looked as though price wanted to maybe perhaps make it back up and over our black, and this is where we are right here, right now. So we're kind of squeezed into this area. It's Tuesday of a new week. If we are going to complement this candle from last week, then it would make sense to me that we should be able to get through. So keeping a close eye in this area. Going to move it away from the 2-year weekly to the 6-month daily. You can see how important this line has been. Wow. We drew it in quite a while ago, and look how price has respected it. So it's tried a few times. Last week it tried to get up and over, but it was not a very committed candle. And sure enough, it sank back down the next day. Yesterday we tried to get up and over the blue, but look where we closed, right at that blue line. Oh, so interesting. So today we're going to open up again in this area. Can we stay there? Can price hold and get us back up and over our black line? We'll see. But in a market that is more or less going sideways right now, you can see my blue 8-day EMA, which I use as my guide, is more or less flat, and the market does not really have any direction to it right now. I'm not going to put any brand new names forward for my watch list, but I will review an old Chart of the Day Cafe featured chart that I think might be interesting here should we get that lift on the Russell Index and the markets overall and the resumption of that uptrend. And that chart that I wanted to highlight for you this morning is ABBV Inc., ticker symbol ABBV, trades on the New York Stock Exchange. We're looking at the 2-year weekly chart. You can see it was in a beautiful uptrend for quite a while. I featured it here in May of 2017 as my Chart of the Day Cafe pick at $63. It had a nice, beautiful run from there, topping out at about 125. It's come in. They announced some disappointing clinical trial results, but it's coming back up on my screen for value. I like the way that it it's consolidated here for quite a while. Again, we're looking at the weekly chart. So I like this area of consolidation, the lift from there, and we've come back in to resettle in that area where, should the markets move higher with the scores underneath ABBV Inc., I wouldn't be too surprised to see it lift here as well. So that's the look on the 2-year weekly. Let me dial it into the 9-month daily. I featured it or mentioned it as a Chart of the Day Cafe pick here again, green circle. When it moved up and over the blue, it had a little bit of a tick up higher from there. But as you can see, it's come in here. It's come back into this area where it consolidated for quite a while, price area, I should say. And it is kind of consolidating here as well. For me, I want to see price move up and over this blue line, which is the 8-day EMA. But I'm flagging it for you here in the event that the market does find its footing and move up and over our black diagonal line. I think ABBV is one worth taking a look at. You know me, I am all about the scores underneath the chart that I featured, and ABBV still has a brilliant, nice high value score, a current forecasted earnings growth rate going forward of 19%, a PE of 13.33, and here's what I like the best, a dividend yield this morning, these are all as of this morning, these scores, of 4.24%. So in a rising market, with those kind of scores and that kind of yield, I wouldn't be too surprised to see ABBV start to lift here. I do not own it, but it'll be on my watch list. Also wanted to mention, you know me, I'm all about seasonality, and if I can get this in my screen, you can see that ABBV comes into seasonal favor at this time of year as well. And I spun over to FinBiz. There are a couple of really great articles there from the Motley Fool. This one in particular, 3 high-yield stocks at rock bottom prices. This was dated April 6th, and ABBV is one of those. So with that, I will leave you. We'll see what the market wants to do in the next couple of days, but if it does find that footing, I think ABBV is one to take a look at. Thanks for watching.